syndrome, which was really difficult. It really interrupted school life, etc. And then as I continued to age, it makes me sound really old, but as I continued to age, I sort of got new diagnoses of things. So fibromyalgia, spinal myoclonus, which is in the epilepsy family. And I'd always struggled with gastrointestinal issues. And then in 2012, I found myself in a situation whereby my gut wasn't working very well. I was in a lot of pain, very bloated, and I collapsed at home. My husband rushed me to the hospital, and my large colon had died, and I had to go into emergency surgery for an ileostomy at the time. And that sort of kick-started what we call the series of unfortunate events with health and surgeries and things.
Well, it got very serious to the point where the doctors pretty much said to your family that this was it, and there was no more they could do for you, and to say goodbye.
Yes, so my husband and the children had to sort of organise themselves and come and see me. My father and my mother, they didn't really leave my bedside. And it was really traumatic, because you're just sort of like thinking, crikey, I'm going to miss out on all these things that are going to happen. Fortunately, we turned a corner. And sort of tried to sort of continue working on myself to make myself feel better. And then in January of 2016, woke up one morning, couldn't move my legs, my hands. I was in a lot of pain, and I was diagnosed with reactive arthritis. So everything's sort of autoimmune orientated with me. And that's when my mental health began to decline quite significantly. And I think it was the April of 2016, the children came running in from school and excitedly tried to tell me about their day, and I couldn't keep up with them, and I felt awful, and they sort of left the room looking a bit deflated, and that's the night that I asked my husband to over-dispense my medication.
So you're on very, very strong painkillers, the strongest.
Yeah.
To come to that conclusion with your kids who are sort of telling you about their day, that this, as you use the word catastrophic, this domino effect of physical then into mental.
Yeah.
You say to your husband, Leslie, I need you to help me, to assist me in taking my life. Thankfully, he said no. And then you started to research.
Yeah, so it was Leslie actually that mentioned, have you looked at cannabis? Wasn't really interested, didn't understand enough about it. And he then asked me to watch a documentary that's been done by CNN, and it introduces the Stanley brothers who set up Charlotte's Web.
The documentary We.
Yes, that's correct. And you see this story of this little girl whose life has been completely changed by a botanical extract. So I was like, okay, I'll try that then, if that's what you want me to do.
Not easy to get hold of.
No.
Because, of course, here in the UK, the CBD bit, which is the bit we're talking about, wasn't legal until 2018. So you took a bit of a punt and approached the makers of the documentary directly.
So I contacted the Stanley brothers directly. I sent a tweet out. To Joel Stanley, not expecting any form of response. And he tweeted me back, and how can I help? So a week later, I received a care package in the post from them. Mm-hmm.
And what difference did it make to you?
So I guess it was within 48 hours. I kind of felt like my eyeballs had been cleaned and somebody had hoovered the fog out of my head, and I just felt alert and upbeat and
you're going to try it now then.
At how very different I felt completely. Physically, I didn't have anxiety. I was managing that, and I wasn't reaching for things that I was previously reaching for.
So what was the doctor's reaction then to this?
They just kind of didn't really say much other than, thanks for telling us you're taking it, but we still recommend you take these, which is fine. But the doctor didn't really understand. There wasn't a lot of information about it. So I just...
To go from that point where you think the only option is to take your own life, to then taking something and seeing a future, because that's what it gave you.
Yes, yeah, I was really excited about it, which is why I set up the Savage Cabbage community, to talk to people, to share my story, and just say, look, this is my lived experience. If you're in, a spot, this might be something useful for you. And then over the years I've learned that, you know, as mammals, we've all got an endocannabinoid system, and we should all be using these products on a daily anyway as a general wellness supplement.
The recommendation is obviously do not come off your medication.
Absolutely not.
The fact is that this doesn't work for everyone, and it didn't cure you. It helped you to manage what it is that you have. We've seen that there are all sorts of things online about sort of miracle cures and amazing case studies. It is hard to sort out the facts from the fiction, and certainly with these companies, you've got to pick your right company as well and make sure that they are certified.
Yes.
Is CBD, does it have within it the THC which gives you the high?
So the products that I advocate for are whole plant hemp extracts, and yes, there are small amounts of THC in that product, but the defining factor is you've got cannabis sativa L, and it delineates into two channels. So you've got medical cannabis, which is right over here, and then you've got the hemp wellness sector, which is here. And whole plant is, in my opinion, what works more efficiently and more effectively for people who are wanting to use these products. So yes, there's THC, but not at limits that are intoxicating.
All legal.
They're legal. They're listed on the novel foods list by the Food Standards Agency. There's a public list people can go and view, and products that are listed on that are currently available for sale.
So, Dr. Nighat, let's just explain that a bit more, the difference between THC and between the CBD oil, because there is a big difference.
Yeah, I think the minute